This IXL goes over U2, which is TSS. All right, so let's do 2 examples. So in this one, it is asking for you to graph a systems of equations. And so I kind of grabbed the bottom of it. So it gives you 2 different ones that it wants you to graph. And basically, it wants you to see where they meet. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing, let's do this purple one, right? Let's see y equals 7x minus 1. So the first thing to think about is in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. The 2 really relevant things here are m and b. This tells you where to begin, and this tells you where to move from there. All right? So once you can find your m and b from your equation, it makes it a lot easier. Let's do purple. So our m is and our b is this. And if you're comfortable graphing, you don't have to do this step. This is just for people who are just getting really into or getting into graphing. So our m, which is that number in front of x, is 7. And our b is -1. What I just grabbed, because again, the only relevant parts of this is what we need here. Now, your movement needs to be in fraction form always. So we can put that, this needs to be a fraction. Instead of make a whole number fraction, you just put it over 1. So once you get that set up, this gets pretty easy. So B is where I begin. I always think about beginning on the y-axis because when you're drawing the letter B, you have to put a downward line first. So it's on the y-axis, so I'm going to begin at -1. So I'm going to put a dot right here. I'm going to begin at -1. My movement from there is 7/1. So because this is positive, that means up 7 and always to the right 1. So you can think that in your head, or if it helps, you can write it this way. But it's up 7/1. So from my beginning, I'm going to move, which is my m, up 7/1. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I'm going to go over 1. And that is where I'm going to put my other dot. All right. So let me draw a line, shapes, a straight line. Oh, I'm moving my dot. That's not how I draw a shape. Here we go. Oh, I'm doing it again. I am learning how to use this tool. IXL does these beautiful lines for you. Not very good at this line situation here. Okay. This is my line. Okay, it's really hard to see. Let me see if I can make it heavier. There we go. Okay, so that's line number 1, and that should be my purple one, which I can make it purple. So now let's go ahead and do the green one. So my M and my B. My M is this number in front of X, which is 3, and I need to make it a fraction. My B is the very end of it, which is 3. So I'm going to begin at +3, which is right here. So I started in the middle and I went up 1, 2, and 3. My movement is up 3, always to the right 1. So from here, I'm going to go up 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to go over 1. Actually, on the same dots, don't think it's going to be too difficult to see where they cross. So IXL will draw you a line. It's super nice of them. I'm going to freehand it here. They're going to draw you a nice, pretty line, and it's going to ask you for the solution. Well, your solution is this point right here, where they cross. All right, so in order to determine that coordinate point, you need your X and your Y. So to get there, you begin in the middle, and we went over 1. So my X is 1. And I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my Y is 6. So that is where it wants for your solution. So this would be your answer. All right, let's do another one. This time they want the green one first. Totally fine. So the funny thing about this green one is it's not in slope-intercept form. So it's not in y equals mx plus b. So if you remember, y equals mx plus b, I need my m and my b. All right, So we're going to have to do some stuff to it. So in the past, we've practiced this before. Move x, divide the number in front of y. So I'm going to move x, bring down that negative y equals. Now in the past, we've talked about which one goes first, the x or the number. I am going to put the x first, just because in y equals mx plus b, it's already there. So the last thing I have to do to get y by itself is divide by that cute little -1 that's in front of it. Cool thing about this is we don't have to flip symbols or anything like that. So we have y equals, that's a -1. -1 divided by -1 is just 1. So I can just write x. I don't have to, I mean, you could write 1 if you want to. Plus 4 divided by -1 is -4. Now that it's finally in y equals mx plus b form, my m is 1 over 1, because I got that from here. And my b is -4, and I got that from here. All right. So let's go ahead and graph. So I'm going to begin -4 right here, and my movement, or my m, is up 1 over 1. And we're going to put another dot. This one's going to be a little bit easier to eyeball. All right, there is my green line. Now let's do the purple one. This one's also not in y equals mx plus b, boo. X plus y equals 2. I'm going to subtract the x from both sides. So we have y equals -x plus 2. Perfect. At least that one I didn't have to divide anything. So let's figure out our m and our b from here. M is this number in front of x, which is -1. And I'm going to put it over 1 because that has to be a fraction. My b is 2. So I am going to begin at 2 right here. And my movement this time is actually a negative. So that means down 1 to the right one. So from my beginning, I'm going to go down 1 into the right one and do another line, or do another dot. And I can continue to do this, so it helps me make my straight lines. IXL is pretty nice. It'll make your straight lines for you. Now, to figure out my solution, it's where they cross, which is this dot right here. So let's figure out that one. My x is 1, 2, 3, and my y is -1. So my solution is 3, -1.